One of my biggest mistakes when I started working on guitar is I didn't understand the importance of lines and what we call licks. So listen to this. Listen to this. Phrases, just like a language, is an essential part of our progression. What I'm going to show you right now is 3 critical phrases that if you learn them, you will see the guitar way better. It's quite amazing how much progress you can make with only 3 phrases. So let's dive in. This phrase is a little long, so we'll break it into 3 parts. Each part will give us different pieces of information about the guitar and music. So check this out. The first part of the phrase is a major pentatonic in 3 octaves. Basically the same line repeated. So which is really interesting because it covers from this G to this E, which is most of the guitar almost, right? So it's really cool because it gives this feeling of forward motion. It's really interesting for us because we can see the repeated notes in different positions. One of the biggest issues with guitar players is that we are kind of stuck in one area and we're only comfortable in this position or this position, and we don't see the board as notes and as music. There's a full PDF on Patreon, you can check it out there. It forces us to see the board. See the board. So after the major pentatonic, this phrase, I'm not hitting this E, but I'm doing, so I'm already thinking about this kind of C7 sound. And the reason it is important because what happens is I'm starting to see the triads, the 1, 3, 5, which is a very, very big moving force in understanding guitar and music. The triads, the 1, 3, 5, highlights the harmonic progression. And when we're talking about soloing, we're talking about creating, knowing the notes on the board and seeing these pieces of information is really crucial. So indeed, when we're playing the phrase, I want you to see the phrase, but I also want you to tag the notes and the sound. So you see, and what I'm thinking here is really the C7, this approach of the flat 3 to the 3, and the 9, the 6 to the 1. So I'm really thinking about these notes and sound. Of course, it can be colors when we're soloing and improvising. Big news, we're coming on tour your way. We're going to Mexico and then Europe in April. Please come say hi. If you cannot make it, check out the album. You have the vinyls here if you want it. Thank you. But in the shed, when you're practicing, I want you to think about this 4 going to the sharp 4. And the end of the second phrase is this. So again, what happens here is I'm basically kind of bending the 4 to the sharp 4. So indeed, I'm seeing the 1, 3, 5, the 4, flat 3 to the 3 ones. Would really mean a lot if you can click the like button, maybe drop a comment and share this video with somebody that you want him or her to be better at guitar. Thank you. The second part of this phrase is this, and 5, 4, 5, flat 3, 3, 1. Let's hear it on a C pedal. No. It's really cool. If you sing it and you just kind of sing the center, you feel how the colors keep moving and changing. It's really, really fun. The third part of the phrase is very simple. It's basically kind of bending the 3 to the flat to the 3, and then the 6 to the 1. Let's hear the phrase one time from beginning to end. You can just listen if you don't have a guitar, it's totally fine. Try to absorb and listen to the colors. You can decide if you want to bend the 2 or bend the 3. Both are fine. This is the second phrase. A little faster. The reason this phrase is so important is because it's highlighting and articulating the 1, 3, 5. Literally articulating this C major triad, and what I'm doing is basically playing one scale note above and a chromatic note beneath the chord tone. It's very important for us to hear this phrase and be able to play it, because it will help us articulate the triads, the 1, 3, 5, and harmonically be very clear about what is happening when it's happening. What I mean by that is, when I'm playing this phrase, I'm articulating this C triad, and I'm actually also aware of the scale because I'm using a chord scale and a chromatic note beneath. So by doing that, I'm actually learning a lot about guitar and a lot about music. There's also, of course, the technical element that is being able to execute something in time and in speed, and seeing the board not just in one position, but again opening it up. The way to practice it is first seeing this triad. So seeing the C major triad would really help a lot. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, and you can keep going 5 and 1. All I'm doing is this. And I keep going. Now, if you want to play it faster, it's oftentimes easier to think about it as a 2-bar phrase, where then I will not start on the C necessarily, I might start on the E. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm hitting 1 on the top note. So a little faster, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Even faster. Now, of course, you can always decide that you start on the 1 and you don't have to smash beat 1 there, but it's sometimes nice to have this clarity when you're practicing these ideas. So you start on 1 and end on 1, or at least be very aware and clear of where the phrase lands in the beat. Third phrase has a little bit more harmonic information. We're dealing with a 2-5-1, D minor, G7, C major 7 in the key of C. What I'm going to do is play this really slowly. There's more chromatic information here, but it's very, very specific. And this phrase will help us highlighting this, chromatic language that is connected to jazz and bebop, but not only, because the idea of articulating triads and being able to play things against the root, against the chords is, in every style of music. What is happening here is I'm playing an F major 7 arpeggio, literally 2 octaves of that. The reason I'm playing the F major 7 is because automatically I'm getting the 9, so I'm getting a D minor 7, 9. And then from there, it's very kind of clear cut. I'm starting on the 3 of the G7 and playing this chromatic thing, 1, and then it's enclosure. These are kind of stylistically phrases that are happening a lot in bebop world. Charlie Parker and all the masters of jazz have created this language of enclosures, and this is a big part of it. What is happening here is I'm going from the 7 of D minor to the 3 of G7, and then chromatically descending to the 7 of G, to the F natural, and then going to the 3. So this enclosure, this is G7 to the 5 of G, chromatic to the 3 of C. So again, just hear it in time. So we can see and hear the colors against the 2-5, and we can start seeing how the colors, the triads, I'm not only playing a D minor, but I'm choosing this F major 7 to articulate these sounds, and on the G7 I'm very specifically targeting the chord tones 3, 1, and 2, and 3, and 5, sharp 5 to the 3 of C major 7, which is the resolution. So this idea of enclosures is exactly what we talked about on the other phrase when we just articulating C major. There is this chord tone idea, this kind of center of the music, which is happening, and then we are playing things around it to expand and extend the tension and then the resolution as well. The same thing that we have this phrase. The same idea, it's exactly the same kind of language, just a little more chromatic, but it's dealing with these chord tones. please remember to take your time. I know some of these points that we're talking about are complicated, but I really believe in the truthfulness of that information, and I think it will help you progress, and I want to shorten your path. So don't get discouraged if it takes you another day, another 2 days, another week to get it. Just spend the time and you will progress even faster. Thank you so much for listening and checking it out. I hope this will help you. I'm sure this will help you. Just take your time, practice, and I'll see you soon. I'll go now.